What an amazing scene that really shows us how this movie is gonna be. So as you may know, the Sonic 3 movie, or Sonic the Hedgehog 3, is actually coming out soon, this December. But the most important thing is that the opening scene for the Sonic movie 3 has been leaked, and it looks absolutely amazing. And we really can't wait to watch it, as we were really left in a very interesting position, because at the end of the second movie, we saw none other than Shadow the Hedgehog being worked on by other scientists in a cryopod, which if you watched the actual movie in theaters was absolutely flabbergasting, and everyone in the theaters enjoyed this moment. But at the same time, it was a bittersweet moment because we really wanted to see what's gonna happen as soon as the movie ended, because it was such a perfect ending to a movie leading to a third one. Because even though this strategy is used by many movies and studios all over the world, this one was specifically painful because it showed us a character that we've wanted to see in the big screen for such a long time, ever since this franchise of Sonic the Hedgehog started. But now guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you watched the trailer, you know that the wait is finally over and Shadow is coming for the big screen this December. What we're going to be able to see in this movie is something that I don't think many people understand. You have to be a big fan of the Sonic franchise and have followed all the Sonic games to understand what's really at stake here. Because Shadow the Hedgehog, the character that we see at the end of the second movie and is coming to be the villain in the third movie, is something that we have never seen before. He is by far the most powerful character in the entire Sonic universe. Nothing comes close. As we saw in the second movie, we saw that Knuckles was able to completely stop the powers of Sonic, for example. But just to make you understand how powerful Shadow the Hedgehog is, Shadow the Hedgehog, according to estimates, is 150 times stronger than Knuckles. And from the second movie, we know that Knuckles was able to stop Sonic's powers as if it was nothing. And that's why in the trailer for the Sonic movie 3, we see that Shadow was able to stop Knuckles as if he was literally in the playground. He didn't even make an effort to it. He stopped it like it was nothing and followed it up with Sonic himself. Of course, Tails didn't throw because Tails is not really that powerful in the Sonic universe. So all of these details make us understand that Shadow the Hedgehog is definitely going to be something that Sonic or Knuckles has ever seen before. And this is of course going to bring us some amazing scenes and some amazing moments for the third movie. And that's why it's really not hard to see that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is definitely going to be the best movie out of the whole franchise. If the second movie was absolutely amazing, the third movie is going to be legendary and iconic. And the reason why we're going to see so many amazing moments in this movie is because he's really motivated to go against these people, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Dr. Eggman, because he has lost his most precious human, Maria Robotnik. But knowing all of this information in mind, something happened a few days ago where the opening scene for the Sonic movie 3, or Sonic the Hedgehog 3, was actually leaked. And we have so many details and so much information about what's gonna happen in the opening scenes for this amazing movie. Who are we gonna see? What new characters are gonna appear? And how is the Sonic movie 3 gonna open? In a legendary way or a weak way? Just to give you a little sneak peek, it's gonna be absolutely legendary. So that's exactly what we're gonna be talking about here today. I'm gonna be showing you the Sonic movie 3 opening scene that was leaked just a few days ago and all the information we know about it. So without further ado guys, let's get right into the opening scene that was leaked in the Sonic movie 3. Let's go guys. So to understand and get a little bit more background about this leak of the opening scene of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, we really have to back it up a little bit to the first two Sonic the Hedgehog movies. In the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie released in 2020, we see that the opening scene for the movie is an actual flashback of how Sonic the Hedgehog got to Earth in the first place. We see that he's explaining to us how he got the powers and how he was born with an amazing personality and an amazing power with speed. He was capable of running at speeds that no other being was capable of. And this is of course followed by Sonic the Hedgehog just running through the map that we actually see in the first Sonic game called Green Hill Zone. Then later on in the opening scene, we see that Sonic goes to Longclaw the Owl, who is the protector and custodian of Sonic, and we see that some echidnas try to capture him for his speed and to be able to get his powers, but Longclaw the Owl completely covers him and shelters him from the arrows and is able to make him escape. Right after this, Longclaw the Owl tells Sonic that he's not going to be able to live in this universe because it's very dangerous, and they're not going to leave him alone ever until they get his power. So what he does is open a portal to Earth, and Sonic gets through it, and that's how Sonic is able to get to Earth. But Sonic, seeing that Longclaw the Owl is alone, tries to go back to his universe to be able to help him, but the whole portal fizzles away, and he's no longer able to help him. This is basically how the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie opens to us. It opens to us in a flashback, and this is really important to understand if the leak opening scene of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is real or not, because directors in these movies follow a pattern, and if this pattern is literally the same as the previous movies, there is a high chance that the leak is real. So the pattern that we see beginning with the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie is a flashback. Does this pattern follow up in the second movie? Well, we're gonna take a look at that as well. The opening scene for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is pretty peculiar because it is absolutely epic, but in my opinion, and many people's opinion, I think the opening scene of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is gonna be able to surpass it, but either way, it is an amazing one. The movie opens up with Dr. Robotnik stranded alone on the Mushroom Planet, because this is how the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie ended. He's stranded alone, not knowing what to do and what to eat, but something really important that he was able to take with him from Earth is a strand of hair from Sonic's body. Sonic, as we know, is a hedgehog, and these hedgehogs have spines all over their body, but Sonic is very peculiar and special because Sonic's speed ability and powers distribute themselves all over his body, and every single part of his body has the power of speed. So because Dr. Robotnik has one of these spines and open a portal, but the portal that he opens is not towards Earth, but another universe. And from this universe, we see some guards come out of it trying to see if Dr. Eggman is alive, and as soon as one of the guards sees that Dr. Eggman is alive, we see none other than Knuckles the Echidna. And again, this is how the second movie of Sonic the Hedgehog opens to us. The opening scene is again a flashback. So we have the first movie and the second movie opening to us with flashbacks. So now, knowing this, the most important part about the leak is that it's a flashback. And knowing that the previous two movies were also flashbacks, it makes a lot of sense that the Sonic movie 3 is also gonna open to us with a flashback. And now that we've got the details out of the way, let's see the leaked details about the opening scene of the Sonic movie 3. This leaked opening scene of the Sonic movie 3 is actually legit, and it supposedly comes from one of the members that is working in the Sonic 3 movie. So this is what it says. The first scene shows 443 panels from Sonic 3. Dr. Robotnik and Shadow are aboard the space colony ARK. The scene titled S3 Space Station Time Travel V01 SVM shows Shadow, who appears to be in a super form, pushing the movie's version of the IRK in a manner that warps time. Given the context of what's happening, there is a good chance that this is a scene near the end of the movie. There are a number of pretty significant details in this scene beyond the inclusion of the ARK. The most obvious one being that Robotnik is still alive, and as we see in the trailer, he really is alive. He is saddened by the absence of Agent Stone, who he hallucinates being on the ARK with him, and then he has flashbacks of Stone pulling him out of the rubble following Sonic 2, and nursing him back to health. In this moment, the ARK's power is failing as Robotnik attempts to redirect it to the thrusters. During the time warp, flashes of other scenes occur in distorted bubbles, including Super Sonic breaking through a window on the ARK to attack Shadow, Robotnik shooting finger lasers in a duel that seems to be against himself, a brief moment where he, Tails, and Knuckles are angrily huddled together, and a bunch of abstract visual warping. And this is it, guys. This is the leaked opening scene of the Sonic 3 movie. It really sounds and it makes a lot of sense. So this is probably what we're gonna see at the beginning of the Sonic 3 movie.